what you came up here to do. Giving all glory to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, I'm calling up Prince Yashuvel. God bless you, man.
Hallelujah. Hey, Shabu Baksha. Hallelujah. Praise the mighty King, the supreme intellect of the universe. All honor to the divine one, the master who created all things. Giving respect to Nasi Hagadol, Sapor Zavulun. Also my brother Prince Nathaniel, and also our war prince Nathaniel Ben Lewi. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I'd like to thank everybody for being here this day to get some word, to get some understanding, to get some information. I just thank God for our power, because a lot of people, we in the building today, but we're not spiritually here. A lot of times we just go through the motions. And we see that sometimes when you be coasting and you're doing the same thing over and over again, and you have become very stagnant. A lot of us are stagnant. And we don't like to agree that we're stagnant. But when you look at your life and you see that you're sad, or there's things that's going on and you're not feeling good about what's going on, you realize that, hey, it's because you're not achieving. And sometimes the goals and the directions that you're pushing in, things fall short. But every time I come, I'm here to kind of give a spirit of positivity, some words of inspiration for all of us to be inspired. You are great and wonderful people, and everything that you have been a part of will be blessed if you give it to the hands of the Creator. So the Almighty is powerful. Hallelujah. We ready, King? All right, I got a little presentation that I want to bring to everybody. This time I wanted to talk about something real serious. And it's about our trauma as a people. We have been through a lot. And when you step outside of yourself and you look at our people, you see we beautify ourselves and we look gorgeous on the outside, but we falling apart on the inside. We grasping for straws, we reaching for areas, things that are falling, everything's collapsing in our lives. We see things trying to motivate ourselves, and we watch other people. When I walk down the street, I watch children sad, cursing, angry. Children are struggling in this way of life, struggling outside this way of life. There's so many things we got to talk about as a people. Because it's easy to tell somebody to do law, but if they're traumatized, they fear certain things that they don't understand. And brought up in this way of life, I look at Champ over there and being raised with a lot of young brothers, and these young brothers growing up. We were warriors and we've been through a lot. And some of us hung in there. Some of us went other places. Some of us searched for identity outside of ourselves. But some of us stayed strong and stayed convicted because we believe in something. We believe in something that's very powerful. And that's why most of you are here, because of your belief. Today's lesson is called, can you pull up the slide? It's called Creating Tribal Identity After Maafa. Anybody know what Maafa is? No. All right. Maafa is what they call the slave trade, or all what Black people have been through. So Maafa means something tragic, a great destruction. And it's a Swahili, it's a word in Swahili that deals with a great destruction or great suffering of our people. And I want to set this story off, or this lesson off, with something that you're used to, or something that you probably listen to periodically, just to set the tone on the lesson and where I'm going today. Next slide, please. All right. I always get up in the morning, I listen to like Lauryn Hill, or if I'm upset, I listen to some Lauryn Hill, or I throw on some Sabbath music. But one day I was talking to Abba, and I was listening to the song I listen to all the time. And you ever had that time where something just catch your heart It's like, dang, you know, and it made me think about the conditioning of our people that at the time when I'm listening to it, I just broke down. Because when you really look at our people, it's sad. We chasing other people's identity. People are poisoning us. They're doing so much to us. They're experimenting on us, and we're just so happy to be around their existence. We want to become them so much, and that's a dangerous place to be. That's dangerous. Come on, baby. We get mad at ourselves and we give up on one another and we run to them again like they ain't the ones who put us in a situation. And I wanted to read some of the words of the song. It goes, I find it hard to say that everything is all right. Now, this is coming from a person who's worth millions of dollars, who was one of the greatest singers of all times. She's finding it hard to say that everything is all right. Can y'all agree? Okay. Don't look at me that way like everything is all right. Don't even play like everything is all right, because I see past the mask that you put on. I see past the persona that you have. Don't even act like everything is all right. Because my own eyes can see through all your false pretenses. We know it. See, you can smile and everything and Baruch Hashem, hallelujah, but deep down, there's a lot of struggle going inside of you. And it's okay because it's in all of us. Don't think it's just you. Don't think it's just you. It's Jacob's trouble. But when we real about this and we identify, I'm hurting, we can start working with each other. We can start treating people different. Maybe our nasty attitudes will change when we know that the sister or brother sitting next to us is suffering. Yeah. And not about what you think or what you don't like about that individual, but that person been through some hardship in their life. You got to look at the person next to you like that's you. See, and that's the difference, because sometimes we start to objectify things. We make things object because around us is self-centeredness. Everything around us, if it ain't for us, it's about nothing. And we only use people to get places where we're trying to go in life. That's something to think about. That person that asks for money is your friend, and when you say, I ain't giving you $5 today, I don't have it. I'm alone in this world. Nobody got my back. Trust only me. Because that's a person with an ego that uses you to get where they're trying to go. But I'm okay with that. They hurting too, right? They hurting. See, we can't be so evil and so critical and analytical on certain people that we throw them away because of their evilness or their wickedness, because every last one of us have a source of wickedness inside of us. Right? She goes, you think our lives are cheap and easy to be wasted. Hallelujah. Now this is where the emotions started to come in with me. It's like, you think our lives are cheap? They actually do. What kind of government poisons their people? It takes poison from China and put it in your water. China paid them to take their waste and they put it in their people's water. So you coming with all these elements. You look at our elders today, they strong, they still going. I bet you the person that's 35 got the same elements as the 70-year-olds in here now. We not built the same. We not built the same. You walk with my heart. Yeah, you ain't even, it's cold outside, your bones hurting. Like, yeah. And I know they had a harder life than I did. They've been through the streets. They've been through everything. And we walking around here limping, breathing hard. We can bear because they're experimenting with you. Do you love yourself? Our lives ain't cheap. You got to put value on your life. Anytime you value your life, you'll never run to the arms of somebody who's trying to kill you. Never. Never. You didn't kill me like you could have. It's foolishness. As history repeats, so foul you can taste it. And while the people sleep, too comfortable to face it. Oh, we sleep. But that's the thing. America has to make you comfortable so you don't want to rebel. You good. You got iPhone X. Yeah, I ain't trying to lose that. For real. I drove here. I just got a new house. You too comfortable. It doesn't matter. You'll take that poison. You'll take your kid getting shot out in the street. All of that you'll accept. just to be comfortable in a system that wasn't built for you. So I understand why you fall asleep during services, because we're telling you to rebel. We're telling you to leave the system, and you're like, I don't want to. It's comfortable. Go home and chill and relax and enjoy nothingness. And then she talks as if the world, if Israel is one person, his life is so incomplete and nothing can replace it. And while the people sleep too comfortable to face it, your lives are so incomplete and nothing can replace it. Fret not, I say, against these laws of man. So now here she goes. It's like she's leading you into a Bible. Don't be a battle. Don't be scared of the laws of man. I know at times we sit back, I can get this, I can get that. I remember as a young man, we marched in the streets. We did soldier stuff. We did not play. We wasn't worried about the laws. I remember one time we were sitting on Lincoln Place. And we sat there on Prince Nata, Elder Prince Nata, War Prince was standing out there, and the cop came on the corner, and we formed a wall around him. And what they say? Thank you. Have a nice day. Because they fear people with power. You just got to look like you got power. See, the bully ain't the bully until the people they bully ain't got teeth. And that's the difference. Stop being so submissive to something that's weak. Something that's so weak, you got a power. Because like the Bible says, right? His blood is on our hands. And when we read in the prophecy, the people, they slaughtered us. Their blood, when you see them sirens, when you see them ambulance, they look like people in the car that look like us, but they are part of that system. And no, I know they're just trying to make it and feed their babies. I'm not knocking them. But at the same time, they're part of something that's so disastrous and destructive to a people. And it oppresses us. And we got to realize this as a people. So let's continue. Next slide. This is Dr. Marimba Ani, right? Marimba Ani. She's the person who coined the term Maafa. And she brought it to us, and now a lot of us in I guess the Conscious Network, we utilize this term. But this is a sister who wrote a book called the Yurugu. Next slide. Now, the Yurugu is an African-centered critique on European cultural thoughts and behavior, right? So she goes in there, and if you know anybody ever heard of the Dogon tribe, right? All right, in the Dogon tribe, they have a god of chaos called the Yurugu. It's a destructive, just causes chaos everywhere she goes. It goes. And she relates it to who? The white man. Yeah, Laban. She relates it to Laban or the European. So in this case, I want you to start, because now I'm going to put the scriptures inside of a place where you can see it and you can understand it and start to develop and go out from your Christian mindset, because many of us are here in Christian mindsets. We are. We may not have a JC in our lives, but the way we interpret the scriptures is so Christian and westernized. See, if you don't have a culture, see, we here without a culture. That's what it is. You're still lost. You're still lost, because outside of here, you're a nigga. You are. Every day you a nigga. You walk like a nigga. You think like a nigga. You talk like a nigga. You eat like a nigga. You want to be down with the niggas. I got to tell the truth, my nigga. Yeah. But it's the truth, because in reality, we do not separate ourselves. When I started to wake up one day, I said, hey, I'm a nigga. I couldn't even believe it. I was shocked. I was shocked. I said, I'm a nigga. I do the same thing niggas do. And I just wear fringes. And I go to services. And I said, I know that ain't what God want me to do. That ain't what my Abba was trying to instill in me. It's a dangerous thing, because it's so beautiful, right? It's so beautiful. I can have anything. I can play anything, any song. I can play some thought music right now. And if I turn my head, y'all be jamming. I will. I'm telling you, y'all will. Y'all be getting down. The daughters be dancing too. Yep, that ain't gonna work. The daughters be dancing, brothers be dancing, because you're mesmerized. They trap you in something that you can't even get out of. You go to services and you're still stuck in this. That's because you got to do more. You got to guard yourself all during the week. That stuff got to become appalling to you. It got to be disgusting. Turn that off. Smack it out the girl's hands. The boy's hands. What you watching? Snap the phone. Y'all like that one? No, you got to destroy it. Ain't no Dr. Delicious up in here. No, this is not no whorehouse. Not a brothel. You got to think about it because it's cute now, but when your daughter goes from one man to another man to another man, and then she don't understand man, and she don't want another man, where she go now? Then she go to the one man that look like another man, treat her worse than the other man, and lost in like women and brother man. So now she bi. She bi. And now she don't even want attachment no more because attachment looks dangerous to her. Everybody she's seen when the attachment scares her. From her mother and her father, she didn't like that attachment. From her friends who had broken hearts, she didn't like that attachment. But they're constantly searching the wrong way because they're looking to create a relationship that doesn't work. Because it ain't with Yah. It ain't with the Most High. No matter how much you think it isn't with Yah. You can say all these hallelujahs today, and y'all ain't pray once together during the week. Y'all arguing every day. What's happening to that child? It's starting to traumatize that child from the age of 1 and 3. The child is starting to process this, and she's seeing that, hey, this is dangerous, whatever is going on, and I don't want it. So now you have children that's growing on neutral sex. Some children don't even want to. They say, I just want to focus on school because really they don't want relationships. Right. Because they fear it, because they see how mom and pops went through these things. Yeah. So the first 3 years of child development is why in the Bible you use the word higmor. Higmor means to wean a child, right? But that symbolizes the 3 years of how long you're supposed to breastfeed your child. And I know that's a lot now because the infant you tired now. You don't want that baby on that breast. But basically what you're saying is I don't want him to be intelligent. Right. I don't want them to be strong. I don't want them to fully develop. I'm tired. I'm a busy mom. I choose Jif. Yeah. You start doing stuff that you ain't supposed to be doing. And it says in the book, it says a wicked woman will not breastfeed her child. See, they need some of that fat to develop their brain because it's the fat that's inside of the breast milk that starts to form the brain. And they need all of that to get the sheaves and the neurons firing properly. So you ain't even supposed to be dropping your child off at a daycare in the first 3 years. Because that spirit and that energy you're putting them around, they're learning emotional responses. So at the age of 3, your child already developed all their emotional responses. From you. It's subconscious. And some women and some young daughters already developed them so they believe that they were born gay, but they don't remember that early stages. They were scared of men. Because of the bad relationships around them. So now we got to go through a reprocess. We got to go through a whole reprocessing. So let's look at Laban, meaning white, right? So now here we go into the story and we start to see that, hey, we hate to say it, maybe Laban was white, maybe he wasn't. If Esau was red, why couldn't Laban be white? Let's just think about it, consider it. It may not be something that you want to call definite, but there's something that's called dormant genes that happen inside of people. So the genes can be inside of an individual and they can actually come alive later and start to happen inside of children, right? And then this begins to explain a lot of stuff. Let's go to the next slide. So we were talking about this briefly last time about RH negative mothers and RH positive fathers. If an RH positive father puts a child inside of the mother, the RH negative mother will automatically try to abort the baby and flush it out, right? And you start to see that. It says the mother begins producing an antigen plus antibodies during the first trimester pregnancy, and then she becomes pregnant with the second RH positive baby. Her antibodies will cross the placenta and attack the baby's blood, causing conditions called hemolytic disease of the newborn. So now what happens is most of these babies will be aborted, but if they're not aborted, they got now where they give you some pills and you can take them, right? But before times, if not, the child was the body aborts itself, right? But if the child is born, it'll have mental diseases. So in the early 1950s, most children that were in mental hospitals were products of RH positive or RH negative. Who carries the most RH negative genes? Laban, the white man. So you'll start to see that. And then when you go into it, you'll start to understand the scriptures more, because Abraham had Sarah. She couldn't have a baby. Rebecca couldn't have a baby. Raquel couldn't have a baby. There's some issues here, because the word used is barren, but it's called aquara, which means to exterminate or to wipe out. So what were they having? Miscarriages. So it's different now. The story started to become different, because when you start to get in your language, you start to see things different, and now it becomes more understand where you can walk through it and actually go through the story. And just take your time when you go through these stories. Next slide. All right, Dr. Ani and Bosi Bori. There's a sister named Bosi Bori. I just met her. She's from Kenya, and she's from the Ekagusi tribe, right? And it's a Bantu tribe, which they know they're Hebrews. So me and her have been talking, and she's a brilliant sister. But Dr. Ani is also a brilliant person, a person who wrote the book Yorugu. Now, they talk about the Asili, right? Now, Asili, the logos of the culture, which is the various aspects of that they cohere to. It is the developmental germ seed of a culture. It is the cultural essence and ideological core, the matrix of the cultural identity, which must be identified and others to make sense as a collective creation of its members. So it's something, it's a seed that's being placed that has to be seen in all the people. So we will see this Asili as being Torah, right? The Torah is the seed that's planted inside. It's the divine word of God. So in the Swahili, the means roots, origins, primordial nucleus, and authenticity, etc. The consonant is SL from Asili. When you look at linguistic roots and cognates, you have to see the root consonants. You can take out all the vowels and use the root consonants. If you take out the A, the I's, you have what? You have an S and an L. Now, the sister Bosi Bori, her idea and the concept is if God said all languages were one at once, then you can find a similar root in all languages. So they will all go back into a similar language. So now if you're looking for the true Hebrew aspect of understanding your Hebrew Torah, you have to go through all languages and amass them and put it together to get a total understanding of the cultural identity that you actually lost. So now from Bantu, because SL precedents the case, SL, and sometimes some Bantu tribes don't have an L, they use R, right? So you're going to see SR. For Bantu languages without the letter L, the consonant derives with words Swahili like Siri, Sera, fortress, stronghold, palace, home, Sarah, meaning policies or ordinances. Stop right there. So now you got a breakdown of who? Sarah. Now look at the breakdown of Sarah. Secret, fortress, stronghold, palace, a home. Meaning policies and ordinances. So she was very structured. She meant so much to the family. So now you're starting to see these cognates, right? They're starting to make themselves in the root and give life to understand who Sarah was and give importance to this whole story. Right. Note that the word Asili means root or origin with the SL consonant. Therefore, any related words with the same consonant will have connotative words and derivation. No, cigar. Somebody help me. Derivation. Derivation is associated with its origin. A stronghold is usually associated with the essence of a root of something, and say a tree, home, and in a sense also refers to the place of origin, but also is used as behavior, same as a palace or a fort. So now let's look at that. You have an SL concept. Anybody know a Hebrew word with an S and an L in it? Sliga. All right, let's get it. Salakli. All right. All right. So even, all right, so let's use Slika and Salakli. So now these words are secret or core or essence. That's what the S and L symbolizes. The seed, the germ, the Asili that was being placed inside of something. So when you apologize, you just don't give a what kind of apology. You give a what apology? A sincere, a core apology, something that is deeply understood, something that is secret that you hold inside. Hey, I apologize. I was behaving this way because this and that, and I felt a certain way. Now, if I offended you, yeah, if I offended you, got the black eye. But if I offended you, sorry. Yeah, that don't mean nothing. You got to go to the core issue. You got to say, hey, you got to tell people why you behave the way you behave. Understand. Yeah, because people are so caught in this mask. Nobody wants to be wrong, but who told you wrong was wrong? People make mistakes in life. The thing is, when you try to defend the wrongs, that's when you become wicked. Because the Ra doesn't mean just something that was wicked. It means ethically wicked, meaning that this is something that you practice. So if you're defending the wrong, then you're Ra. There's a difference. You're a core evil. You got more evil to you. And you have to start thinking it's okay to be wrong. If you make a mistake is no problem. And that's why sometimes mothers and fathers, you have to allow your children to make mistakes. If you so critical on that, now, if something's intentional, punish them. If something is a mistake, explain to them the mistakes, but do not chastise them harshly for the mistakes, because when they grow up, they don't want to make mistakes no more, and that's going to either make them a procrastinator where they don't do anything, or they're going to be scared and hesitant to do something. And then they'll become a liar because they don't want to fess up that they made a mistake. So now you're starting to see this now, because this Torah is more than just thus saith and thou shalt not, because that's what we believe. That's not what the Torah is. The Torah is instructions. It's instructions. So now this core, this asili, is supposed to be the essence. Everything, when you see Prince Natanyo or Dr. Kuzak come up here and they go into deep interpretations or breaking down scriptures, they're telling you that that's Torah. And it is, because now you have a psychological advantage on how everything plays out. Next slide. All right, there's the Utamawazu, right? And the Utamarohu. One is the cultural thought. Like everybody in this place should have the same kind of cultural thought. Right. And that's the kukwat in Hebrew, which means statutes, right? We say statutes, but you take it away. Nobody really knows statutes, so we just say stuff, laws, statutes, and commandments. And you say, what statutes? I don't know. You don't know what it means. It's culture. It's the cultural practice in there. And this is why it's imperative for you to understand the cultural practice. It has to be a thought mechanism behind it. It has to be why do we do these things? We do it because we feel this way. Why you just don't let your son just sleep with girls, and why you don't allow your daughter to just date boys and just disappear and come back? It's a whole culture. Everybody has to have the same mindset. And then you have the otumrohu, which is the motivation. The motivation is laws, statutes, and judgments to motivate them to do something. And cultural rewards. You create other rewards. But mainly people, they don't want to be punished. You're going to go to jail. I'm going to go to jail. Shoot, I'm going to stay right. I'm going to be right. Yeah, I'm motivated. What's wrong with you? I almost went to jail. Yeah, you got to motivate people. People, see, and that's what, even here, we got to have accountability. Without accountability, this doesn't work. None of it works. It's just a game. People have to have accountability. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you report? Let's see what you did for the month. Oh, I ain't do nothing. Who are you? I'm just such and such, such and such. It doesn't matter. If you got a title here, you better be doing something. Something. I don't care what it is. He said, bro, you ain't find me nothing? I'm gonna just sweep the trash out. I'm chief trash. No, I like that. Well, chief trash. That brother's serious. Yeah, and take it with pride. Why? Is that an important job? It sure is. That's a humble brother right there. You get that brother, you be happy with Chief Trash. Hey, he humble. Yeah, he humble. Yeah, he ain't arrogant. Yeah. Now it's the other brothers you gotta worry about. Chief Trash is good. He always gonna be good. He don't need much. Another man's trash is another man's treasure. He don't need much. He make everything work, right? All right, next slide. All right, so here goes European asili. European asili is their germ, their seed. It's what? Power. That's all they care about. It's power, right? So let's look at this. The European process of European Utamawazu, right? Which Utamawazu is the cultural thought. This is how they think. And I'm going to show you how this is a spiritual meaning with no spirituality. Wow. They have thinking beings minus spiritual beings equals knower. So they know, but they minus what? Spiritual. What do you learn about spirit in school? Nothing. You a soulless, spiritless person. All you know is thinking. And that's all you do. And that's why you're depressed, because you think too much. And you know you depressed. Some people don't even know they depressed. Some people don't even know. What's wrong with you? I'm fine. Yeah. Yeah, you laughing and crying. You don't know what emotion it is. They're like, you just messed up. You got reality minus meaningfulness. Who told you what the purpose of your life was? Anybody in here in school, somebody told you your purpose of life? No. Do you see where we're going with this? Right. They created zombies. Right. They created zombies. They took the Bible out of the school because science tells you how things work. Religion tells you why things work. So they take the meaningfulness out of your life. Now you had no meaningfulness. All you were the person want to go to college and be this and that and this and that, and you're going to be happy because you're going to make money. Money going to make you happy. But I want you to find one person that money made happy. Right. It didn't. It didn't. Y'all can't wait to income tax, but I bet you would be arguing around income tax time.
I ain't giving you.
Yeah. Y'all live in the same house fighting over who gonna claim who. What kind of system is that? You like you like Solomon, cut the baby in half. Cut the baby in half. Yeah, look. You're very happy now. He gonna claim somebody, boy. You came up in the Israelite world, you got a child, you came up, boy. Sure. I'm cashing in. Sure. That's why our children bad, because you know what? I ain't that mad at you. I got you an income tax. All right. Then you got the phenomenon. The phenomenon is the experience that we're doing right now. This is the phenomenon. It's the experience. Minus the interconnected context. Minus the connectedness. We are not connected with nobody. Not even each other. Because we play too much. We're so self-centered. We don't understand that everybody is the same. Some women are even disconnected, and men are disconnected from their own child. They don't care. It's only about them. They don't care how they affect their child with their decisions. It's about them because they're not connected to anything. Now, they use this ego, European-controlled ego, plus detachment, so they pull you and distract you. They want you to detach from your origin. So they detach you from your origin, and it equals refined, rational thoughts. So now European controls people that are what? Controls emotional beings. Wow. Think about that. They control emotional beings because there is a war. There's an emotional war and a spiritual war. One is on the other side, one is on the other side. When you're far left into the emotions of things, they control you because they placate and play on your emotions with specious arguments. Like, how can you discriminate against somebody because of their sexual preference? I remember when they used to do that to the blacks. And then you'd be like, that's true. That's true. So you're thinking that's true now, right? So you're starting to believe, yes, it's okay. It's okay. But the man that loves his dog, is that okay? It ain't now. Yeah. In 2 years, your sisters are going to be like, it's just the puppy love. Right? Because sisters are the gateway to emotional connections. And this is why society targets our sisters. Because in their search for security, we haven't provided security, so it's easy for them to go into the world, correct? Right. They want to be secure. They want a brother that's going to secure them, make them feel good, make sure everything is working right, emotional security, physical security, financial security, and we give them barely anything. Because most of us as men, either we're not working and we're out there with the homeboys, or we're working too much trying to provide for the family. So the whole system is making it where we don't even have meaningful moments. Right. Where is the meaningful moments? When are we going to talk about how you feel, baby? Oh, I'm good. How you feeling? My day was good. And she said, yeah, because at work today, LaQuisha came up to my desk. You better sit down, brother. Just listen. You're like, oh, Lord, LaQuisha, I shouldn't even ask her. But listen, brother. Let her get off her chest, because sometimes women want to, sometimes even when you argue with them, just let her get off their chest. Be like that. Don't give a solution. Don't get no solution. Don't try to figure out her problem for you. Know what you need to do? No, I just need you to listen. Woo, that's a hard one, baby. You'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. Yeah. You know, I always just grow up. I said, I know she wanted a solution. I'm about to give this girl a solution. So have you ever thought about just listen, please? So you don't want a solution? Oh, you want this to continue? All right, let's see how this works. Next slide. All right, European Assyria is power. Lavan in Genesis 27:29 is impressed by the riches of Eleazar of Damascus. When he seen the riches, his sister came up in there. He was like, bling, bling. He was like, man. He came like, yeah, what? He came there, yeah, like, yeah, he just talking all type of stuff, washing the feet to himself. Move out the way, sister. Yeah, brother, let me get between them toes, bro. How you feeling, man? How you feeling, brother? How you feeling? Hey, everything. You want to eat? You want to eat? Eat, brother, eat. How's that? Tasty, right? So now this is how they move. This is how they move. Eleazar of Damascus, and he portrays himself as someone who has pure intentions, similar to the early colonizers. They come over, they're like, yeah, we want to help you out. We want to. They got the diseases. They like, we want to help you out. We want to help you out. Oh, yeah, come on out. We want to show you something. We want to show you how to. And you like, I like them eyes. Them blue eyes look nice. The brothers are like, yeah, them blue eyes look nice. Yeah, that's how colonizers get there. They put them little women up there. Y'all seen them blue eyes? Seen that little long hair like this? Yeah, that brother got the brothers. But Bethel family structure appears broken because if you pay attention to the text, you start to see that Bethuel was starting to talk. The father, Laban is talking, and the mother's talking. Then when you go through the conversation, Bethuel disappears. Now that's a sign. The father just got usurped because the mother and the son are on the same side. So now you see a broken family. You start to see how the mother is being an overbearing parent to her own child, and now he's taking control of the situation. And if you don't believe me, then that just happens to their offspring, right? Rebecca, Jacob did the same thing. It's a system. So if you pay attention to the family that you're getting involved with, you can see all the future problems. We're just so full of distractions, we don't pay attention. Our relationship to us consists of a movie, sex, bills, movie.
And a drink.
And a drink. That's a relationship. What kind of relationship is that? I want to relate to you. I want to know what's in your mind. What's in your soul? How do you feel today? What's going on? How can I be heroic and help you? Because right now, man, we are not going to war out there. Ain't nobody got their sword slicing men up and protecting their wives. They see that. They know that we ain't doing that. Y'all can act as tough as y'all want. Yeah, because when you go outside, I don't want nobody to hurt you. Chances are you're probably not going to have to defend your wife, right? But prepare. Make sure you prepare. But then you got other protection to do, right? You got some spiritual protection, some mental protection, some emotional protection. You got to secure that, you know, because when you talk, you gotta watch the way you talk to women sometimes because they're never going to forget it. That's a fact. Man, once you say that bad word or you say something come out your mouth, you be like, damn, 2050. That'll be the last 2050. I should be dead by then. I'll stop hearing from that because you're never going to hear it. You're never going to stop hearing it, huh? Here goes your plate of nothingness. Yeah. Thought I was nothing. I put my nothing into this. You're like, babe, I was just mad. I was just playing. No, that's what you said. That was on your heart. See? And you could be right, brothers. You could be right about the whole argument. You say something wrong, oh, they cornered you, boy. They got you. You was right the whole argument till you called her name. Yeah, till you called her something. You said something to her, and she's like, oh, you have the audacity. Yeah. Any word is offensive. Yeah. Hey, baby, I get them in them. Can I get some wheat thins? What you call me? Too thin? Oh, so I'm not like one of them luscious girls that you be watching on your phone, huh? No, I just wanted the cracker. Oh, so you want white girls now? That's what you want. Go get you one. Go get you a white girl. Go get her. Go get Becky. Beyonce told me about y'all. So So in ancient families, it was really a patriarchal family. And I know something I'm about to say is probably going to step on a few toes, but another specious argument that we need to look at is allowing women to vote. Now, that seems real good and great, right? But what happens if the father or the husband of the house is voting in one direction, trying to take his family in another direction, and then you have a wife voting for somebody else to go in the other direction? So now you just separated a family and you gave the power for families to be separated. So it looks good when you're at the voting line that you have a right and a freedom right now. But in ancient times, your family would have been represented by your husband or your father. And so we look at this, and it's called rhetorical ethics, because in rhetorical ethics, what European Assyli and their government do in their cultural thought is they apply things that seem good, but they don't even follow themselves. Right. They don't follow them. They got y'all to follow them. Y'all believe in all this. You think they want gays in their community? Absolutely not. But they know if they put one gay in their community, they can get 5 in yours. So they'll sacrifice that one. They give them 50 gays. They'll even sacrifice. They give you Kyle Jenner, whatever the person. They give you that. And then watch everybody start coming out the closet. Because it's a sacrifice. They'll sacrifice their own for you. Because you're going to go and believe in it. You're going to follow it. Right? Go ahead. Next slide. All right. European Assyria is designed to control emotional beings. It denies spirit and dominate that which is objectifies. So objectification is when you yourself look at yourself as so much that everything around you become objects. Now, sociopaths are mainly in men, but are in women also. But you ever had or been with a man or been with a person or around a person that only fakes emotions when they need something or want something? Right. Y'all brothers are quiet. Boy, y'all brothers like, I can't try that trick no more. Yeah. You know the brother that ain't emotional to you about to leave? Baby, no. Please don't go. Yeah. You start singing all type of songs. You get serious, you get emotional. It's all fake. Right? Because it's self-centeredness, and you use that to control other beings. So now what we have to do is Jacob being detached from his family, it creates him and puts him in an emotional place. He's very emotionally imbalanced right now. So he's vulnerable for Laban, the white man, attack.
In 21 years.
Yeah, 21 years. We're going to get to that too. Because that don't make that. Well, we're going to get to that. Go ahead. All right, next slide. All right, and another thing with their rhetorical ethics. Remember, rhetorical ethics is what they use, and they also use scientism. I ain't put these words up here for no reason, so if you want to be able to remember them, please utilize them. You can use them in the house, play around with them. All right, scientism, the ideology use of science, define Eurocentric. All the activity which sanctions all thoughts and behaviors that is science becomes sacred, the highest standard of morality. So in it, they make science the highest thing, because science is going to prove why you should vaccinate your child. Science is going to prove why you should put them in that infrared thing when your baby come out. Put them under that little heating lamp. Yeah, like you baking a baby. No potato. That's a baby. There ain't no potato. That's a baby. What do you need? You don't feel wrong when they taking your baby and they putting them over there? Only thing missing is a timer. Bing, my baby's ready. Look into history, because I've been going to school for to be a birth doula, right? I was bored, right? I know how you get emotional when you're pregnant in your second trimesters, my sister. See, that game right? You like, he knows my trimesters. You gotta get the game, well, you gotta step your game up, right? You're not producing the proper amount of dopamine, my sister. Yeah, I got it. Y'all gonna hear it. They're gonna love me, boy. Watch, I'm telling you. So in it, they actually had a time where in America in the 1950s and the 60s, you were scheduled to deliver a baby, and they would put you to sleep, and they would get instruments and pull the babies out like a factory. You know what that did to the children? Trauma. That traumatized the child. Baby, I'm about to go be unconscious for a couple of days. Make sure that such and such do her homework. What happened to a natural childbirth? Do you know that they're trying to make 50% of childbirth C-sections? C-sections is an unsuccessful birth, if you think about it. It is. It means that you're dealing with higher trauma. And even with the Pitocin that they put in there, that's fake oxytocin. Oxytocin is naturally produced when you're in your home. That's where you're supposed to deliver your baby. When you're in the hospital and you hear, boo, boo, boo. Oh, somebody just died, room 7. You're like, It creates an environment that's not stable for you. And this is why they start pumping you again. Anytime they try to inject you, no, thank you. No, thank you. Give me some water. Give me this. You can't eat in your pregnancy. So why are they not giving you food? Because they want you to be weak. They want you to be weak. You need energy to push that baby out, right? So you eat some ice chips. I ain't you white polar bear. I want some food. Man. But you weak. So now you're weak and you can't push. So they have to do what? Induce it now. It's all a setup. And you in there and you love your baby, and then your baby come out with autism and a small hippocampus because you put so much drugs in it. Yeah, everything going up. You spend so many days, and then they schedule you to come in. What does that mean, schedule you when to come in? When do you want me to come in? And they try not to schedule on the weekend. You ever notice that? Yeah. Yeah, I ain't know that. Because they don't want to work on the weekend. Yeah. I heard baby name Monday. I heard baby name Tuesday. I never heard baby Saturday, Sunday. Nah, they don't name them that. All right, next one. All right, spirit. Anybody, what's a spirit? Don't even read this right here. What's a spirit? Ruach, right? What's a spirit? Anybody, somebody raise their hand and explain what a spirit is. This is the miseducation of Israelite Hill. Let's go. Okay. You know how to talk about them fancy cars and all that other stuff. Let me hear you talk about spirit. Mm-hmm. All right, so if I'm trying to apply that, give me something I can apply to understand how to apply spirit. Energy. All right, that's good. That's a good one. That's a good one. All right. Emotion. All right. Anybody else? Huh? Yeah. It's connected to it. Sisters, anybody want to take a shot back there? Brothers, the only one got spirit up in here. Yeah. Let's go, brothers. The creative force which unites all phenomenon. Phenomenon is us individual experiences, right? It is the source of all energy, motion, cause, and effect, and has become more dense and manifest as matter. It is the meaningful level of existence. So it's something that connects us all. We all have the spirit of who? The creator. So we are all interconnected. So to realize that we are interconnected is the aspect of being spiritual and understanding the spirit. This is something. So, and then when you become into the spirit, you start to understand the level of your existence. We're going to get it. We're just going to get into that. All right. So let's go to the appreciation of the meaning in existence. That's spirituality. So now when you say you're spiritual, you got spirituality, you appreciate the meaning of existence. I asked you today, what was the meaning of your life? And mostly nobody even knows. So when you don't have a meaning for life, you don't have reward. You don't have a mechanism where your brain can produce and reward because you don't have moral goals. But you have financial goals. You have capitalistic goals, because you're a part of the European assembly. You're a part of their power structure. They cultivated their thoughts inside of your mind. Right? Now, spirituality is one's ability to relate to the metaphysical levels of experience. It unites thought and feeling. There you go. And thereby allows for intuitive understanding. So it unites thought and feeling. So now you have thinking and you have spiritual. You put them together, and then you get the true understanding of life, and that is spirituality. But they remove one and leave you handicapped. Go ahead. All right, despiritualization, the denial of spiritual reality, the inability to experience spirit, or objectification, use ideological results to desacralize and despiritualize the universe. So they take everything, all the spirit out of the universe. They have taken everything. They don't even explain that. They say spiritual is just some philosophical thing. It doesn't really exist. In ancient times, they didn't know what they're talking. That's just really talking about the mind. And so that's where you get from the Homeric perspective, and then you go to a Platonic perspective, because in early Greek understanding, the Greeks actually were more like Hebrews, because they followed most of the people. When they learned inside of Egypt, they were learning in Alexandria. At that point, Alexandria were 50% Jews. So most of their knowledge and even their language, you could tell, come from phonetic or Canaanite language. So they took that and associated. So early Homeric, they was very poetic with their things. They would do plays and musicals to express spirituality. Then Plato later came and he made it all scientist. He made it all scientific. Everything had to be literal. Nothing could be poetic. Everything had to be, it is what it is. Right? Y'all hold on that. Y'all hold on that. All right? Yeah, because to second half we got a debate. Does God have emotions? And so we're gonna set a couple of brothers straight. You know, let's go to the next slide. All right, next slide. All right, educate them with rhetorical ethics, scientism. Then it could never escape them. So if you educate them, you set the format for them to be a part of rhetorical ethics and scientism. They believe in science so much. Guess what? They're going to carry that with their life. And I used Genesis 31:34 when Rachel takes her father's idols. What this here, it symbolizes the cultural aspects that's planted so deep in somebody that when they leave out the place, it's still there. So when you come here, all you're doing is dragging your Western thought inside of here. And you can't create because the foundation and the culture is not the same. You're under the automawazu of the European and not the cultural thought of the Hebrews. So you have to figure something out here. Something has to give. Something has to give. Go ahead. Next slide. Now Joseph was 17 and 17. That was like my son did that. Let's go to John. No, Joseph was 17, and 17 symbolizes rising above tragedies at early childhood. Like 17 is when you start to have strong cognitive skills and you can balance multiple things in life. So Joseph is coming into this manly thing, and he's starting to be able to do a little more with himself. He can do this. He can multitask at different times, and it also represents the psychic ability or the intuitive aspect of tapping into something that was deep. And this is easy for a man back in the days because there was less distraction. See, when you meditate, it's called sensitivity focus training. So what are you trying to do is kick out all the distractions inside of your life, and you're trying to focus because there's things in this world that's talking to you. Let's go to the next slide. So he learned under one of the best guys in the world. That's Jacob's ladder in Akashic records. And Akashic is a Sanskrit word for like books or a library of information. And this information is right before you. It lies right beyond you. It's all here because in a sense of energy, right? It's in the sense of energy. And what they find out is that humans can interface with each other through energy without even words. And we start to see that later on because we have things in quantum theory and quantum mechanics. You have things what's called superposition, that electrons travel through different states. And when they travel, they could be at two places at once. So that means I could be giving you an energy and a thought. And it could be there. So if we're patient and we calm, we can sense energy. You can sense feeling of what's wrong with your wife or what's wrong with your brothers around you if you're in tune with yourself. And see, that's why some things have more tune with nature than we do because we're so distracted. Hey, we're distracted. Everything's distracting us. The bills are distracting us. Our children are distracting us, but they're supposed to distract you because you need to focus on them. Yeah. Go in the room, leave me alone. Right. You gotta cultivate that. Emma, why we do this? Because I said so. You gotta tell the child why, or they're gonna experiment why. They're going to. You have to explain it. Now, if you're in a rush and you need them to hurry up and do something, you can tell them later, but make sure you go back and tell them. Right? So now, in this what they call Akashic records, there's Jacob. Jacob fell asleep and he had a ladder, and you start to see the word aven. Aven, it means a stone. But if you use the word bana or bane, it also means a brick. So a vein is the structural overtype of the father and the continual growth, which is a seed, right? So it's talking about genetics. So he takes the genetics that he has, he gathers stones and he put them all together because subconsciously we are multi-beings subconsciously. We have a little bit of Abba, we have a little bit of Ima, Auntie. We have so many people that's inside of us that we put them together as one identity, and they start to fight for dominance, right? You know that one time you one person, the next time you this person. They're like, you're so sweet. And they're like, oh, God, I didn't even know you could be that evil. Like, you got to jump back. No, but I'm sweet most of the time. Don't do that. Don't do that. That was an accident. When I said, leave me alone. That was an accident. Get away from me. That wasn't me. You know, you got to identify with that. You got to identify with them characters. When you take a time, say, yeah, I got Aunt Jackie in me. I got such and such. Identify all that. And start putting it together. They fighting for identity. But where's your identity? And where's your identity? It's been adulterated. Every adult in your life took away your identity and wanted you to be them. So you never became who you wanted to be or who you were supposed to be. So that a vein, that seed, that structure, that genes, but then that vein comes from the Hebrew word benah, which means to build or to understand. But that vein is a brick. So everything we talk about genetically, you're stacking bricks, you're placing things upon these things. So when you start to see that the angels, the messengers are going up the ladder, they're going to a higher level of consciousness to receive word. So us going to a higher level of consciousness is based on sensitivity training or just focusing and stop being distracted. If you see a person that's always on social media, chances are that person is not good in relationships. They're not. They into social. Lies with everything else instead of focusing because they're running from something inside of them. And when you run from something inside of you, you become focused in everybody else's world except your own personal world. And that's one of the things we have to consider as a person and as an individual because we're so beautiful. But really, you lost yourself. Who are you? What is your meaning? What is your purpose? It's sad you should cry because you do not know. You haven't took the time to ask God, what is my purpose, Father? Cry out to God. Ask him, give me a meaningful life. Let me lead my children. And they said, I was a great woman. Huh? My mama did good raising me. Say, what's your mother's name? YouTube? No. They want the mother's name. Spend time with the children. Spend time, fathers. Get back, stop chasing all them women that's all stray out in the streets. They can't do nothing for you. You at home, you mad at what's going on at home, but you looking for something worse in the streets? Right. Makes sense. You ain't nothing. I'm about to go get me a whole bag of trash. Yeah. Oh, Fred Sanford face, trash collecting. It's quality. You think it's good women out there? No. It's some. I'm generalizing, y'all. I'm not talking about y'all. I'm talking about out there. Work with me, sisters. They're like, oh, I'm a good woman. No, I wasn't talking about. I'm trying to bring the brothers in. Sisters be waiting around the corner. Like, dang, what's up, sisters? Hey, shalom. Like, walking fast. Start running. Get him my coat. It ain't wrong. They speak Hebrew. Get him my coat. Milk come on. Hitting our floor. I'm like, y'all wasn't even in there. So, gee, how y'all know the commands? All right, next slide. All right. So now we have this beautiful person. We have Yosef. So now we introduced him to the story, and Yosef is this brother, and he's around his the concubine sons. Now they purposely telling you this why he's around the concubine sons, right? And it says, "Et dibatam ra'ah." Now this is a play on words, and it's telling you what happened. It says, "Et dibatam," meaning he glid. He secretly slandered his brothers. He slid in slander against his brothers. And it was what? Ra'ah. Ra is evil, but Ra'ah is evil, but it's a play on the word shepherd. So at the same time, he's lording himself over his brothers. Like, I'm the stuff. Like, yeah, I'm gonna make sure I get this information to give the pop. So he's doing too much. It's because the father's telling him too much. See, one thing you can't do is feed children adult information. Because once you start feeding them adult information, they're going to misbehave and misrespond and misinterpret what you're saying and take it to a whole nother level. So go ahead. So it says in that way, Yisrael Ahav et Yosef Mekal Benayawa Ki Ben Zakwanim Hu Welo Ase Lo Katonet Hapasim. It says, and Yisrael loved Yosef from all his sons. Now that's dangerous. More than. Yeah, from all, it means greater than. When you all have a from there, means greater than. So it's comparison, yeah. He said because he was the son of the Zakwanim of his old, it was the son of his old age and his wisdom now. So now he can implant stuff in there, and usually you see the last child is probably the most spoiled child, and they get away with stuff. You be like, but you don't let us get away with that type of stuff, and then the child just does everything, and it doesn't turn out right. It's like spoiled milk. You want to enjoy it, but it's no good, right? So it says, who lo, and he made for him katonet pasim. Now, you want to think that this is a rainbow coat, but it has nothing to do with a rainbow coat. There ain't even colors in here. It says katonet pasim, meaning a garment that came down to the wrist and all the way down to the ground. So he had a long garment on, but there was a problem with this long garment. The brothers didn't have the long garment. Why? They workers. The workers didn't have workers' garments came up to him. They'd be lucky if they had a shirt. Yeah, Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Musty, no shirt, hard working. Here come Yosef. Yeah, look at him fly. I know how to work that thing. So, my brother said I look like Wonder Woman's husband. You see what they do? I thought I was fly when I stepped out there. Y'all couldn't tell me nothing. I was like, you know what I mean? I was coming out there. He said Wonder Woman's husband. I just had to break down. I was about to take off the crown, take off everything, take off one band, just leave one band on. I'm doing too much. So he had that fly garment on. Let's go to the next slide. All right. And it says the robe of priest and royalty. Okay. 2 Samuel 13:18. Well, Aleha Katonet Pasim Ki came Watilibush Shana Benot Hamelech Waha Batula Me'alim. Let's stop right there. And upon her with a Katonet Pasim, same thing, Katonet Pasim, meaning the long garment, because thus was worn by the daughters of the king, the virgins, and they wore a certain kind of cloth. So the me'alim means something that goes on top of it. So they were wearing some priestly royal garments. So they're wearing worker garments, and here goes old boy thinking he the king. Imagine a brother standing up here with a crown on his head, and everybody was dressed regular. That's some real arrogant stuff, right? All right, so I'm just saying, you think you're better than everybody? Exodus 39:25. And they made bells of pure gold and put bells between the pomegranates upon them and the robe around it. So that robe is that me'alim right there. So I'm going to give more definition of what he had. So this is only for priests. And then you see it. Moreover, his mother made him a little coat. She made him a ma'alim, a ma'il, right, and brought it to him. So he was a priest. So she made it for him to wear. So he was just a priest and he was royalty. Now, you know that this happens in family, right? It happens, right? They got that one child that got all the stuff. Got all the stuff. And you think about it, it'd be the little kid, it'd be the little baby. You'd be like, man, when I was a little baby, I didn't have all of that. He got the Jordans. Like, he's all to grow out of them in 2 months. Like, really? But you put all that into a child. And then it starts to mess with the mind of the other children. Think about it. I've seen little kids buck against older kids that were shown favoritism. Little kids, you know how much it hurt a child to see one child being favored? A little child to walk up to the big child ready to take that big child life. Y'all ever seen that? A little child just, I don't care. Boy, he's holding that. Boy, he's holding. He's ready to swing off one. I'm a little boy, calm down. That's your older brother. He like this. Like, dang, you see what them clothes do? Hey, I'm about to get everybody some Jordans. Y'all need to calm down here. Y'all go to sleep to income tax. Let's go next slide. All right. So in it, here goes Jacob or Joseph. He goes to them. They already don't like him. They hate him, right? They have hatred towards him. And he starts to tell them a vision. Now, why is he telling them the vision? Why is he telling them the vision? It doesn't make sense. He already know they don't like them. They're not trying to reason with you. Hey, brother, I got to tell y'all something. You got to tell them. You got to speak to them. You trying to talk some sense into them. They like, man, I'm going to demolish this little boy. They're like, yeah, I want to tell you about the dream, man. I had sheaves. Man, they all bowed down to it. About 11 of them. About 11. And you know the dumb one, right? I won't try to figure out the dumb tribe. I didn't want to offend nobody. I was come up with a dumb tribe, but hey, all right. Hey, bro, like, yeah, it's 11 of us, man. What are you talking about? Say, man, they mad. And then he comes back. He comes back again. Because you can't, at this time, you know, when you watch The Code of Many Colors and was Prince of what's this movie with Jacob? They make him like he a good guy. He not a good guy here. See, Joseph is this ambivalent character that has different aspects about him that's really not that good at this moment, but it will be fashioned into something that's powerful. It's something that you have to work in, and that's how God does. He takes some of the most raggedy people and things in life and make them good. Jacob was good. No, he wasn't. Then he became good. That's the difference. See, you don't always start out good. There's certain things about you that you see because it's usually the bad child that becomes the phenomenon later that be somebody great. But they have to take time to grow and develop. Now, you got to think about this character of Joseph is not a regular character. It's something that's extreme because he took all of Egypt and he saved them, right? No. He enslaved everybody in Egypt. And that's a whole different thing. He saved the country Egypt, but he enslaved everybody in Egypt. Took all their money, moved them to a different location, had them growing crops, paying tithes, paying mortgages on their home, everything Nehemiah was against. So now, that's a real diabolical plan, brother, because he was always a manipulator. He got it from his daddy. Yeah, the supplanter, he got it from him. So Jacob supplanted his brother, but didn't learn or use it right until he supplanted Laban to get out of his type of slavery that he subjected to him. So we got to think about this. So now Joseph is being spoiled by his mother's killer. I'm gonna let y'all sit on that. All right. Joseph is being spoiled by his mother's killer. Jacob killed his mother. He said, because if anybody has an idol and come out this house, they should be put to death. And that's why the father word was something powerful back in the days. You got to watch what you say because some things start to come into reality. You have to be a man of least words that you can because these things can come back and haunt you. But then think about it. That's the problem with the world. See, because things become evil when you desire it so much. How is that man? Is this man good for you? How much do you desire him? Is that woman good for you? How much do you desire him? Because if you desire him too much, you will start to shortcut your own moral ethics to get this person. You will start cheating in certain areas and doing things to manipulate to get whatever you want. But once you desire something too much, it's no good for you. It's an addiction. And this is something you got to get away unless it's the Almighty Yah. Now. Thank you. I can't tell you how that curse. Thank you, Abba. Abba removed that curse from me. That was a mean curse. All right. So in it, we look at Jacob working for a woman for 20 plus years, and that'll make a perfect love story. But in truth, it's nothing short of ignorance. It is nothing short of stupidity. Because sometimes when you desire something, you put it on this high pedestal and it'll never reach the standards and levels that you want. And it basically will kill itself. You idolize something and you put it so high and then you realize how high you put it that it's nothing like that. And then you got to separate from it and you're like, oh, well, this is disgusting. It's no, because you gave too much power to an entity that a power wasn't supposed to have. Love your wife, but love her in the confines. Love your husband, but love him in a certain way. Don't promote their ignorance and think things are going to change by time and chance. That's not how things happen. If you don't agree, speak and say, I don't agree with this. I don't know about this. I don't feel this, Ish. I don't know if I want to go in this direction. Please help me to understand so I can be secure in following you. Just tell me I'm going to follow you, baby, but I'm not feeling this. This doesn't look right. It doesn't seem right. I'm uncomfortable with it. My emotional intuition is going off the charts right now because I know you're about to mess up, baby. Tell them. Don't follow along. I feel you. Bleep, bleep, bleep. Tell them. Speak your mind. Speak your heart. Vice versa. Because brothers, don't follow no woman when all of a sudden you're doing stuff in the traditions that you used to have. You no longer have it because women are a powerful thing. They give you things. The woman is powerful. Have you running out your house, messing up your house? I'm trapped, baby. I don't know what to do. What you mean? You know that girl.
Killer. What's the name? Killer.
That girl. With the girl that, you know, that with the hairstyle. Like, my friend. Yeah, you know how. My friend. They be over here all day. What's her name? Like that is not important, right? Like, but sometimes we chasing stuff just for a temporary thrill, right? It's temporary because your heart is pumping blood down there. That doesn't mean that that's the right decision. It doesn't. It doesn't. You all hot. You get out the house. Go somewhere else. You know what I learned? Don't put yourself in situations that you can't handle. Don't think you so good. Right. We about to go watch a movie at her house in her room. Yeah, right. But I ain't gonna do nothing. Right. Really? Bro. Everything fly, turbans, keyboards, everything coming out of there. We sin, forgive us, God, as soon as you're done. Forgive us, God, we have sinned. You knew it. You set yourself up because you believe in yourself, but you know that you're not that disciplined yet. You can't do nothing but walk in the park with a woman right now. Where you going on a date? We going on the A train and rush hour. I don't understand that date. No, we don't need no personal time. I'm not there yet, baby. I'm not. I am an animal. I'm an animal. It's around springtime. Yep, that's around the time I get animalistic. I know my patterns. You got to know yourself. Be real with yourself. Don't think you holy. All that stuff. And sister, stop lying too. Sometimes y'all don't want no man of God. Y'all don't want a nigga. Just say it. Just say it. Be real. They act like they want a man of God, then they pick the worst man of God. Shoot, you know what I mean? Cheap trash is still available. Cheap of the trash is still available. You can get him anytime. He's a real humble guy. Y'all don't want the humble guys, right? Y'all don't want the ones that barely talk, don't say nothing. Y'all don't want them guys. No, you like the man that all the women like, and then you mad because all the women like him. Better get away from my husband. You got Tybo videos now. You doing all type of moves. They're like, this is serious. No, you just putting on the front so nobody come near your husband. I was like, dang. A new martial art. All right. So now, right, he has this dream and he tells this, and then he tells the next dream, right? So he says, oh, and the 11 stars and the sun and moon bow down to me. And his father says, hold up. No, you're not talking about me, son. Jacob is playing a game. And I want to show you why Jacob playing a game. There's a thing called, this is from an article called Living Vicariously Through Children with a Twist, right? So we think living vicariously through a child is always the runway model moms or the football dads. No, a lot of our sisters and brothers are living vicariously through their children. Because what Jacob did is actually create a scenario for Joseph to believe like that, but then opted out because it was openly to correct him when in truth he actually promotes that behavior. Now, I'm going to go and read this article until you can understand what I'm saying, because some of y'all look a little lost, so I got y'all. Today, I've described 2 types of dysfunctional behaviors in which children act out things that their parents would secretly like, right, to do themselves, but are highly conflicted about it. The parent has hidden desires and impulses, but acting on them will not allow by their own families of origin. So let's think about it. We were talking about the thought music earlier, right? Now, most parents are allowing their kids to listen to the thought music because secretly inside of themselves, they want to listen to the thought music themselves. So they are leaving it open to their children to listen to the thought music because when they were growing up, that stuff wasn't allowed. So they're living vicariously through their child. Most people are familiar with the idea the parents experience things vicariously through the lives of their children and not just stage mothers and the like. But what happens is when the vicarious thrill that the parent gets from the child goes against the rules that the parent had not only always followed, but overtly endorsed, right? So now it's saying what happens when that happens, when the child is doing something against the parent that the parent says is wrong, is wrong. But if you're telling your child something is wrong, why don't you stop it? Do you get what I'm saying? Do you see this in parenting a lot of days? That we say this is wrong or this is not right, and we want to stop it, but really we're letting them go and be free because we felt that we've been confined in Torah for so long. The world is strong. It's because we have the Atamu Wazoo or the cultural thought of the European. And so now we allowed because, we are overseen by the Asili of God, which is his Torah, but our cultural thought is European, so we allow the process to slide. Because in truth, we want the freedom of the world too. We love America. We love everything about it. It is so beautiful to us. And we say rebel, get away here. We want them to get away, but in truth, we go right back into that world. We go right back into that world and we hurry into that world. Because that's all we really want to be a part of. We only just wanted to be accepted by this white man. We want to sip the coffee with you guys. We want to be there. We want to love you. We want to Venice Lavi die too. We really do. We do. You do. In the case the children gets a double message from the parents, and they are subtly and covertly encouraged to act in a way that they later condemn. So the parents are telling them to act this way, basically allowing them to act a certain way. And I've seen this even sometimes in the confines of my own house where certain behaviors is allowed, and then when you chastise, then they act like they're chastising them too. But what happens is this sends a mixed message to the children. The children like, damn, where'd that come from? They don't understand that little fake little 4-piece combo you gave them. But they're like, Emo, Abba tripping. We do this all the time. So now it's something. So Jacob is because he wanted to do it, he lost so much time with this Eman Abba, or he didn't go back and he couldn't see certain things. So he wanted to see that, hey, how is it if my daddy just loved me the same way? I'm gonna do it and live through Yosef. I'm going to make him the ish. He's going to be so good. Go ahead. Go ahead. All right. And I said that, right? So he says, and he told his father and the son of the dream and said, shall I and thy mother and thy brethren indeed come to bow down ourselves to thee to the earth? Yeah. Hey, look, you see their garments? Yeah, man. Look at their garments. That's the look at Joseph thing, looking all colorful. All right, go ahead, next one. All right. I should have put some stuff up here. All right, Genesis. While your man Yisrael, Yosef Halul. Okay, so he says to his brothers, says Yisrael to Yosef, Halul, behold, Akika Ra'im, your brothers are shepherding. Bet Shechem Lecha wa Esher Lecha, and I shall send you Elohim, where your man to say, lo, unto them, Hineni, behold, here am I. So I want to share, when you are living vicariously through your children, sometimes you are leading them into a path of destruction, and you are so blind and blocked away from the foresight of what's actually going to happen to this child. And I want you to listen, because there's something in this that should have warned Jacob not to send Joseph. While your man Yisrael, when it said Israel to Yosef, Behold, Akika, your brothers, Re'im, are shepherding in Shechem.
Teach.
Go to them or her to the land, Lecha, and I shall send you Alehem to them, and while your man, and you shall say to them, behold, what should have tipped Yaakov off that this was a bad idea? I'll give you a couple of seconds. Huh? What about Shechem?
Had his daughter raped not too long, a couple chapters before.
There's a spirit in every place. Right. There's a spirit, and some people are overtaken by spirits in that places. You got Shimon and Levi in the spirit in the place they just ransacked. Right. They feeling themselves. They ain't even really supposed to be there. Right. They arrogant right now. They like, dead bodies and just. They had that back then. Yeah. They did. They had that back then. Is it a peace pipe? Yeah, they had that. Y'all better. Y'all so politically correct. If I do this next year, y'all be all right when it's legal. Hey, teach, brother, teach. So Shechem, it's a spirit. So now he's telling them they just destroyed that place. And you so blindly leading Joseph to destruction. Shimon and Levi, they hype right now. Yo, y'all remember when we destroyed everybody here? Who wants some of this? Who wants some of this? Dead bodies. You didn't want none of that. You look like Joseph. Turn him up. Ain't that right? Yeah, Shimon, let me calm down. Shimon, let me calm down, bro. Yeah. We did this. Whose city is this? Here come. Down. He looking fly. He marching down there. Here come Joseph. Oh, Lord. See, and just so happened that they left Shechem. Or they would have killed him in Shechem. They went to Dothan, right? Where there's more people around. So they had to, change their mind. So here comes Joseph. But Joseph, see, God is powerful. God gonna make sure you get to where you got to get to. Because God loved Joseph. He did love Joseph. He seen something in that man. So he sent a messenger. He sent a man just wandering in the field to get him in the right direction. Get this man out of here. Let them boys do what they got to do to get him out of here because he's not going to grow. They're going to destroy Joseph. They're going to destroy Joseph. So Joseph just came. He's like, Abby sent me. What y'all doing?
Lonely, bro.
Yeah, what y'all doing? We watering the flock, fool. Yeah. What you want? Dream a dream? Tell us a dream. Come tell us a dream. You want to hear a dream? He running. He don't know what's about to happen. I got one. I just had one last night. Boy, I ain't make this up. I ain't made this up. There was 11 cows. Brothers like, oh, it's a wrap. Get him. Boom. So he picked him up, slammed him, threw him in the pit. Hey, the first thing they went for is that garment. Rip that garment. Take this stupid garment. You stupid. You look stupid. You ain't our leader. You ain't our ruler. That's black people, right? They got that spirit. You ain't our ruler. I hate you. I hate daddy. I hate everything about you. They didn't like their father. They didn't. When Dina was raped, they said our sister. They talking to their father, our sister. No, that's his daughter. What are you talking about? They didn't like him. They just dealt with him. They managed. So they took him. They didn't. Joseph was all right. It was really that they couldn't believe their father was doing this stuff. And then so Yaakov is an ambivalent character too because he makes so many mistakes. Mistake after mistake after mistake. I love this God. Because he still works with you through all your mistakes. Yeah. And half of y'all are ready to change, and half of y'all say, I got still a couple of mistakes left. Please change now. Don't live and bank on the mistakes. Because your mistakes is not like everybody else's mistakes. Your mistake might cost you your life. Your girlfriend, she been doing this she been the whole time. She ain't had one STD. You make a bad decision. Hey, we gotta keep it real. I gotta keep up with the times. I gotta talk like the times talk. Yeah, I gotta talk like the times talk. Y'all gotta understand what's going on in this world because it's a nasty world. It's a nasty world. Shoot, you gotta realize that y'all should have test kits in y'all purses, brothers, in your pockets. Ain't nobody you get with without taking them to get tested or something like that. You gotta be real. You gotta care about your future. Ain't that much emotions or feelings involved. Ain't that much feelings involved. Or you destroy your life for a temporary feeling. It's only a moment. And you brothers, you better know better. Some of these women are portholes. You wake up in another dimension. Man, you about to tear that thing up. You in Jurassic Park. You don't know where you at. You ain't never seen a man messed up that bad. That brother come out the service, he like, I'm looking for something right now. All right, bro. Hey, you gotta get some machines to get some of these brothers back. They gone. This ain't nothing like the pain of a woman hurting you. You can't take that. The toughest man, you in the middle of the street crying. Bus bopping the horn, you like, no. It hurts. It does. It breaks a man down and it breaks a woman down. We all got to be mindful of each other's power. Stop being self-centered. Because guess what? We rooting for each other. Let's root for each other. Come on, pick us up. Let's go. Let's go. Go tell your wife and tell her, we're a team, baby. Let's make this team work. We in 12th place right now in the camp, baby. Everybody know we doing bad. I want to make the playoffs. Yeah. And you like, playoffs? No, care about it. I bet you the sisters, because that's what sisters do. They compare, right? They do compare. I bet you such and such don't treat his wife like this. And then the brother start telling, oh, don't such and such secrets. Well, don't such and such did this the other day. Did you know that? Yeah. He ain't right. You're like, dang, you just snitched on your boy for that? Yeah, she got you, set you up. Yeah. Take it as a competition. Nobody wants to be miserable. Let's go. All right, so after going through all of this trauma from Laban and carry on the cultural ideas and aspects of what Laban has put into it and what the European has put into us, I want us to understand, avoid these mistakes while reestablishing tribal identity. First thing you need to do is go to yourself. Right. Okay. That's what you need to do. Because the Torah assumes that y'all are neighbors. Right. It does. Right. Love your neighbor as yourself. Is it talking about the neighbor in Brooklyn? No. Every law in the Torah assumes that y'all are all together. If the Torah had an eye and a brain, it'd be like, what is this? What is this? What y'all doing? This ain't what I told y'all to do. I'll be there in 2 hours. Sister, you okay? I'm coming now. I hurt my hand. I'll be there. I'm about to get an Uber. I'll be there in about 30, 40 minutes. What happened to that? That ain't family. That ain't love. But we so sick, we don't want to live by each other. I don't know how that sister run her house. I don't know how that brother run his house. Well, do you investigate the people you move by now? No, you don't. You go way out there, you don't care nothing about them. You don't ask no questions or nothing. You just hate the world. You hate your own people so much that you look at everything else that everybody else is doing is fascinating. But let me tell you, Laban wasn't happy. The white man ain't happy. He's greedy. He's a monster. He's a machine. He's everything. He sucked the life out of you. He took everything from you. And he's arrogant about it. And there you go run into his places of worship as if this is okay. Don't let your daughters hang with the daughters of the land. Simple stuff to learn. This is Torah. See, because y'all going to take this part out. Y'all going to take this part out. I said, where you going? Where your daughter go? Oh, she going to hang with her friend. Where they go? Oh, they going to a concert. Yeah, because that girl acts out of control, and your daughter gonna act out of control with them, and out of all the other people at the concert. Why? Because the stronger society always dominates the smaller culture. It sucks it up. It happens all the time. You know, when you was a child, you would hang around somebody, you start doing stuff that they was doing. You know that, even though you knew it was bad. You know, you said that first curse word. You know, and the girl's like, hey, son of beep, beep, beep. You like, yeah, Man, that gets stronger, boy. Because when you first say it don't sound right, girl, you gotta do that harder. Like, you got the skirt on, you got the fringes on the hair wrap. You know, then I think things start to change because it's part of our lives. Come on, this is the day when we give up being niggas. We done. Let's put down the nigga stuff. Get one of these cloaks and a crown. Number 3. Remove European Utamawazu from your house. It has to be annihilated. Their cultural thoughts has to be out of it. A lot of our children here are European thinkers. They are. Some of us. But I'm telling you that they just waiting to graduate from here. Yeah, they're gonna graduate. They're gonna graduate. They're like, yeah, sure. I'm gonna go away to school. You're like, yeah, okay. She like, she out. She gonna turn up when she get away. She gonna turn up. You know that. Y'all seen them splits I was hitting on that countertop the other in that video? She gonna turn up. Cause they waiting to turn up. You think I'm in my line? A girl is waiting and the son is waiting to grow up to turn up. You ask them what you gonna do for your 18th birthday? Turn up. 21st, turn up. Huh? What you gonna do for your 40th birthday? Father, forgive me for all the sins that I've committed before thee. I will devote my life unto thee as long as you you turned down now. Yeah, you turned out. They done messed up your life. I know not which way I go if it cometh. Hey, you turned up too much. You don't know what's going on. All right, 4. Never show favoritism amongst wives outwardly. And that's very important. Because children cannot determine whether their mother is right or wrong. They're not even caring about that. It got to be even. Even you got to hold the indoor meeting, hold that meeting in the privacy of the home. Listen, wife number 8, I like to think things into existence. You know, I'm a forward thinker. You know what I'm saying? Wife number 8, you ain't behaving the way I want you to. But don't. I like that. But don't. That's how a woman gotta be, right? But don't chastise me with your words. I'll let you slide this time. Y'all like that. You know, ain't nothing like that happening nowadays, boy. Y'all on the floor rolling, like at times you losing. You like, oh no, I'm gonna flip her back over. She ain't gonna give me that time. I see this in MMA. You put her in a leg triangle. You like getting off of you, like, oh shoot. You tap out like, yeah, don't play with me. The 7 of y'all want some? I didn't come up here to make this a funny lesson today. I was gonna cry and be serious. I was really... All right. Create a balance in the ranking system based on primogeniture, inheritance, balance, merit, and characterism. And what do I mean by primogeniture? You have to have the basic structure, or the oldest gets the blessing, right? But then you have to have a character that could take the throne if the oldest is not doing right. So you have to have balance, because the scriptures always shows you the usurping of the young and the oldest. So that gives the child the ability to say, it's not over because I'm not the oldest. I can still give Abba the best, and he chooses what he chooses. And he does what he has to do with that which is right. And if you're the oldest child, give your father the best. And hold your position. Hold that what you should. So that creates a balance. It creates a competition to keep the family growing now. So you got to do it like that. You know, if you got a son that ain't working, and you got, hey, number 4 can move into number 3. Like, yo, I need you to do this. He's not listening. Let's go. Let's move forward. Let's be righteous in this, because everybody wants righteous children. Everybody, I know, I want righteous children. I don't want none of the bad stuff. But we have to fight it, because you have to pull them out the system. They've been in the system so long. You know, even in getting your own place, it's going to take a while for you to kick that out the child. Or they're gonna turn Goshen into Crenshaw. They are. Yeah, so you gotta meditate. Look, child, like, what up, Shorty? You're like, no, come on, let's meditate. Let's meditate. They meditating like they can't stand still there. What you got going on? You got demons coming out of you? Baby, calm down. You like, calm down, boo. All right. Stop living vicariously through your child or suffer the consequences of a short-sighted behavior. Now, you're going to set your children up to be destroyed because you're not looking long-term. And that's what I love about the scriptures, that we start to break it down going deep because you see long-term. It says wisdom gives you foresight. So if you're wise, you can see, I know each one of my child, I know where they're going to be, what they're going to do. I know who going to jail, who isn't going to jail. I'm just being real. I say, you going to jail. Why would you tell your son that? He's going to jail. I mean, behaviors produce certain things. I don't want him to, but the way he's behaving, this is jail-like mentality. If I was a cop, I'd lock him up right now. I'll call the cops on him now. Yeah, get him started in the direction he wants to go. He wants to train the child in the way he wants to go. You can start jail early. They got the ROTC, the junior. Yeah, you got junior jail. You got junior jail in the school. Send them to junior jail. Redefine your asili. Redefine your Torah, your divine words that's placed inside of him. We have to have the culture that surrounds it. See, we got to have a culture of love and righteousness. See, we here together. That's what I'm talking about. We a family. Right. We all we got. And I know sometimes it don't seem like that. Sometimes we seem so separated, so clicked up. We can't be like that. We have to have like, yo, let's get this together. Let's push forward because we all struggling. We all struggling. Let me tell you, you ever talked about somebody else's family and then your family do the same thing? Yeah, we connected. Yeah, connected. God got magic, right? You see that sister house out of line, right? That brother house out of line. You need to get his stuff in order. You come to that door, you're like, oh no. We are one in the room. You start singing that song. We one in the spirit now. You understand how God works. Because what's happening in somebody else's house is going to happen in your house until you change this whole culture. It's how it works. We all interconnected. Next slide. All right. So after this, Jacob is crying to his brothers. He gets sold off and he goes into Joseph gets sold off and he goes into Potiphar's house and he starts to begin to go to low states, and then Judah is the one that has the conscience. So Judah's hurting the most now. You can see Judah going through pain now. So he must have had more of a hand into it, or he had a mind that he could have did something better. See, guilt is powerful. You ever did something wrong and you can't even think straight because it's heavy upon you. So you got to weigh the feeling of guilt compared to everything else. Guilt don't feel good at all. It's heavy. It's nasty. It'll take your day. It'll make you cry for years. It's something that's hard to replace and hard to get rid of. Yeah, it's not worth it. You could be celebrating and having fun, and then guilt just pops and says, I'm here. You're like, okay, I did that. Like it's something that you don't want to be a part of. So Judah went through it. And God, he went away because it's better to run away from your problems, right? Most of us typically do that. This is the natural proclivity of human thoughts to if there's problems associated with a place, then you better leave that place and go somewhere. But the truth is you are not supposed to leave your family because they're the thing that you really need to come close to. Everything that you need to find the solutions of. So Judah left and he went and hanged out with the Canaanites and he got a woman I'm pretty sure his father didn't approve of. And so he had a son and the son died, and he had another son, and the son died, and so now he's struggling. Now you could complain about your life, but imagine selling your brother into slavery, and your father is mourning so much, and he's hurt, and he don't want nobody to comfort him. He's telling you F you in Hebrew. Yeah, he's saying it in Hebrew. I don't know what it is, but he was saying it. Don't touch me, don't touch me. I don't care. Y'all did. He knows something's up. He knows something up. Tent walls ain't that thick. He knows something. Yeah, he heard. He knows something. Somebody knows something. Somebody dropping hints. So he's worried. So Judah he just leaves and he's hurting, and now he's just getting out of control. And I wanted to read the testimony of the 12 patriarchs because I want to show you the kind of emotional conditionings that we're in as a people. And it's the social norm for us, but it's how we have tried to manage in life, and we think these conditions are okay. So, and I'm not saying that this is real at all, the testimony of the 12 patriarchs, but it's very good poetic work, right? It's something that you can look at and take from the information and say, okay, this is something to think about. So Judah was royalty, you know, so he had a lot of wine and stuff like that. So it says, and now my children, and what things soever I command you, teach, Nasi. I command you, hearken to your father and keep all my sayings to perform the ordinances of the Lord. So he's saying, listen to me. So the father's blessing their children. So this is real. When a father says something, it stands. That word is powerful. So, you know, my Abba took back something today, and I'm good. I'm good now. And walk not after your lust. Let's stop right there. Bro, polygamy has nothing to do with what we're doing. Has nothing to do with it. It's our weakness. We're weak, and as men, sometimes our soul and our spirits are so low. We're looking for affirmation in all other women. We want women to build us up and say, "Oh, you're cute, you're smart, you're this." So now you feel good about yourself, but you're still a lost soul. It's a void deep in your spirit that you're trying to find. And woman after 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 woman, and you still haven't found yourself. You still, hey, some brothers, some brothers got some. Woman. By 10, right? But we begin to search it, and I've been through that, man. I've been through that. I was always so criticized, and I thought I was not going to be nothing. And then somebody said I was cute, and I was like, oh wow, I'm cute. Wow, okay, cool. So I wanted to know what cute was, so I started to get all the stuff that looked cute in the stores and put it on me so I can get cuter, and I can get more people to say that you're cute and you're cool and you're somebody. And I got the clothes, and I had the clothes, and I was wearing it, and people kept on telling me all cool things about me, and I was still hurting. I was still hurting. I tried to fill this void. Yeah, and I realized it. And I just go, and then you sleep with a woman, and she wants something that you don't even want to give her. So you break hearts, and you destroy people along this path of godliness. Oh, yeah, because you wasn't searching for God. You were searching for your own validation, and your own validation is based off of morality and doing what's right in the eyes of Yah. A woman can't validate you. Only God can validate you. So when you feel low about yourself, don't run door to door and door to door and door to door. Yeah. Because it can't do nothing for you. Them texts look cute now. They do. You do it. It look good now. It looks like it's something now. But then when you get that woman, you like, you not that woman I was texting. No. What happened to her? I'm calling 911. You kidnapped that girl I was texting. You evil person. You gonna find her. Oh, yeah. Yeah, catfish. What woman gonna say, oh, I hate you, you disgusting person, I got issues, and I'm gonna tear your life apart? They're not gonna text you that, right? No, they're not gonna text. You're not gonna get that on text. And brothers are so weak sometimes, like, oh, I hate you, you're disgusting. I like them feisty. I'm gonna tame that. Watch it. That's me right there. I don't like no woman just do what you say. She got to be a challenge for me. And then you at home like this when she comes to the door. She gone. You like challenges, right? Keep challenging. And glory not the works and the strength of your youth, for this also is evil in the eyes of Yah. For since also glory that in wars the face of no woman of goodly form ever deceived me, right? So it's going to deceive you. An upbraided Reuben, my brother, concerning Bilhah, the father of my wife of my father, the spirits of jealousy and fornication arrayed themselves within me. So you have the spirit of jealousy, fornication, all of this stuff starts to happen in your mind, and you got to realize that these feelings are only transitory. They're little demons, they're little serpent seeds that starts to plant themselves in your mind and says, "Do the disgusting right now," and then you say, "Do the disgusting? I will," and you give up that brief second, and you fall a victim to this stupid voice that's only there for a couple of seconds. Wait it out. Wait it out. Because I know us as men, there's something that God puts in us to make us not fornicate, right? There's one thing, we get circumcised, right? That's to help us, right? And then after we lie with a woman, our brain produces oxytocin and knocks off the testosterone. So now we have no desire for women. That's why after we make that good love, because all of us is good in here, right? After we make the good love, right? We don't feel like being bothered or cuddled and stuff like that because our testosterone levels is low. Our body's saying, you can't keep doing this all day. Yeah, you're going to wear yourself out. If you done that woman touch you, you be like, she be like, cuddle you. Oh, you hear, you roll off the bed. Boom, boom. I'm all right. I'm good, baby. Not right now. Not right now. Yeah. The body telling you, no, this ain't for you. This is to reproduce. Yeah. You making it fun. You making this is not that, that's not that kind of party. You trying to make it an everyday thing, an every night thing. You gonna die. Yeah, for real. You gotta walk around with an IV stand, like, choo, choo, choo. What happened to him? You know. He's extremely dehydrated. Nah. You don't smell the foul odors emanating from him. All right. Themselves within me until I fell before Bathsheba the Canaanite, and Tamar was supposed to espouse my sons. Let's skip it to the next one. So he's going over it. He that commits fornication and uncovers his nakedness has become a servant of fornication and escapes not from the power thereof, even as I also was uncovered. For I gave my staff, that is the stay of my tribe, and my girdle, that is my power, and my diadem, that is my glory, my kingdom. That man gave everything up. Because in a moment it seems good. He gave him the staff. That's your power, man. You know, your staff had your name on it, your tribe on it. He gave you a little signet. You gave everything. You had it over your glory. Because sometimes when you're chasing these women, maybe you need to step back and realize that I'm at a low point in my life. Right. And I'm under the spirit of emotions, and I'm able to be controlled by the European Asili. See, now you can't be a freedom fighter when you're lustful, because every movement failed because of a woman. Every woman came in there. Even when we were in the wilderness, they couldn't get us. They tried to curse us. They tried to go to a mountaintop after mountaintop, put a curse on the nation of Israel. They said, that ain't working. I said, that ain't working. Cardi B. Yeah. Everybody started going out of control, and then everything. And people forgot about God because the moves that they were doing were just enchanting. Yeah. It's serious. It's serious. You ever had a night so bad and so good that you can't even praise God the next morning because you're ashamed? He's like, Father, give me a couple of days. You got to get your mind right. I'm not even going to play you and disrespect you. I'm not even going to disrespect you, God. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, get out of there. Don't play with God. He ain't no joke. Don't come here and talk about some righteousness and the love of Yah and how you're devoted in the Torah and you're so astute and you're a whore. Yeah. For real. And sister, stop chalking up your lustfulness to bad decisions. I picked the wrong guy. No, you were just being lustful anyway. Because ain't no women in here going to tell me they didn't see all that stuff they were complaining about in that man. They seen every last bit of it, but in their mind, I'm going to change that. Yeah, they're going to change that because they think that they have their power. They think that they're intelligent enough, but in truth, you like bad because you have bad in you. Maybe go search God and elevate yourself to a higher level, and then you receive something. Elevate yourself to a higher level, and maybe God will make your relationship work. Both of y'all. So we tried everything, but we didn't try praying together. Y'all really didn't. And can't tell me a family in here that said, let's start studying and praying hard because we're going to make this work, baby. You got to sit down, open that book up. You can't be smart and your wife don't know the book. She got to know everything you know. Yeah. Don't say, hey, you want to tell the other sister, you want to study with me? No, brother, study with your wife. Now you want to lord her over your wife? She break it down metaphysics. See, you know, the pineal gland, it says pineal. That means the pineal gland. He was like, so y'all talking? That's your words. No, she just was inspired by my words, and she, yeah. Don't you want to study with the sister in her bedroom on the A train? Study on the A train. Yeah, rush hour. Then I repented for these things, and I took no wine or flesh until my old age, nor did I behold any joy. And the angel of God showed me that forever do women bear rule over a king and a beggar alike. He said the women got the power over the king and a beggar alike. That's some powerful stuff. But that shows me, y'all know y'all power, y'all just be playing around. Yeah. Oh, I'm in a bad relationship. You chose him. Ain't no, like Dr. Kuzak said the other day. He said, don't play like he chose you. He come to you and say he like you, and then you got to agree whether it's good or not. You know him. You know everything he does. You watched him. You asked all the sisters. A sister be sitting, and he done slept with everybody in the back row, and they still think, I'm going to try him. He changed. We got to understand there is something inside of us as an individual that allows us to call on the greatness of this one powerful God. See, we can't carry on an act. We are on our last act. This is it right now. Y'all all acted out. Let's be real now. Let's do this Torah. I did Torah for 10 years. I'm done. You never done no Torah. You never did Torah. You frowned your nose up at your brother. You frowned your nose up at your sister. You didn't love him. God said, I wouldn't even sold you into captivity if you didn't treat your brother wrong. You could have broke all the laws, but the law treating your brother and sister right and wrong, I wasn't tolerating. So that's why you got to fear. Because that person right next to you has the spirit of God in them. And God is testing you. He's everywhere, right? His eyes are everywhere. Because when you talk to that person, they're judging you and they're crying out to the Creator and the message is going there. I went to Shma today and the brothers were garbage. I went to Shema today and the sisters were evil. So they cry out to the Father of God, and while you cry out to God and talk about what God needs to do for you, he looks at you and laughs. Brothers and sisters, you got to clean this house up. You got to change. We've been this way for so many years. It's time for something else to happen. It's time for the spirit of joy and love. Go out there and feed people in the streets. Stop worrying about your struggles. Worry about other people's struggles now. Change that life over. Your self-centeredness is the way that man wanted you to be. He wanted you not to be a part of a place. I'm going to do my own thing. I want to be free. No, only thing you should be working on is being right with your brothers and sisters. And do that work. There's so much work to do. You can't tell me, oh, I can't come out and do the work at the camp today. I got to spend time with my family. And the next week you in a meeting about how bad you're treating your family. Yeah. Something ain't working. Something ain't working. Well, maybe you need to be here and she like you a little more. Yeah. Come do that work. Make her proud. My Ish did that. Yeah, he did that right there. She like, yeah, my husband, he helped out there. Yeah, he's such and such at the camp. He does this. Or not my Ish. Oh, yeah, he go to that camp. What's his name? No, people don't really know him because he just, he in and out, but he go there. Hey, you ain't proud of that, right? My Ish, man, he does this, he does that. And brothers want the same thing. My Isha, Man, when she does it at camp, oh my God, man. She puts her soul in it. I mean, I never seen somebody so dedicated in life. My wife is powerful. Yeah. Everybody want a king until you got to be a queen to keep one. Yeah. Everybody want to be it. And so we could be soldier all the time and warrior all the time, but the blessing is given to those with the minds, because guess what? A person with the mind can hire somebody with the muscle. That's the whole lesson of scriptures, Jacob and Esau. Jacob was the mind, supplanted the muscle. We got to think about that as a people and we grow. There's an old African proverb that says the person that wakes up early every morning to work is a person that slept his whole life as a youth. Think about it. I mean, you didn't put your time in thinking, because you ain't got to get up that dang early every morning and bust your behind and work so hard. The person that works the least is the person that has the mind and creates the work. That's who leads the world. That's who leads the world. You can put a bunch of muscle people right here in one building and a bunch of fighters and put a bunch of geniuses in this building. Who's gonna take over? The geniuses. They don't get their behind whipped for a little bit, and then you gonna swing and you're like, what is that? Force field 2.7. It's built with uranium. It's built with uranium, cast iron, and it'll ward off evil demons. You're like, dang. You're like, dang. Like that, brother. You know, I'm telling you, hey, that's what the white man did, right? He came with that thing. The Indians were sitting there. They're like, hey, they're about to get they were coming. That said, boys, boom. They said, oh, thunder gods. Oh, the thunder gods are coming. They ran. They said the thunder gods drove in here on mountains. Yeah, that's what they thought. The thunder gods. Littlefoot, let's go. They out. They out. They create stuff that's destructive. They create the stuff that's destructive. But what I'm saying to you is, don't allow all the trauma of what Laban put us through. Don't allow all the trauma of what the Maafa put us through, because this is a part one, but I'll get into a part two another time. But don't allow all of this stuff to beat us down where we're not looking at each other as if we're not the children of God. That's God's baby, man. That's God's baby. You got to realize that that's God's child. When you're about to get mad, say, I love you. God bless you. God bless you. You got to think about it, because God is somewhere in that spirit just waiting for you to judge. He's like simmering, ready to destroy you. And then you say, hey, sister, let's work this thing out. Brother, let's work this thing out. I know we ain't seen eye to eye, brother, but I could do better as an individual. And I tell everybody that here. Me as a man, I could do better. And I know my family, everybody in here, we all can do better. You know how many souls left this way of life because our bad decisions? We got a lot of repentance to do. There's somebody out in the street right now with a destroyed life because they put their faith in here and then they left out it because they don't have nobody to run to. These people here left their families to be a part of people they don't even know. They read a book and God called them and God told them to come to a certain address and they came. And then we chase them away. We can't do that. We made bad decisions. And that's where you got to cry. That's where you got to start to think about it. Ask God to forgive you for your nasty spirit. Say, God, forgive me. The white man made me do this. Get the devil out of my mind. Christians do it, don't they? They be like, the devil riding me. Yeah, the white man riding me. Because they corrupted and polluted our minds. All I see is beautiful people here. I see tired, beautiful people. But I still see the energy that's so deep in y'all that you can spark that energy and become something the greatest people on the planet. Y'all people are geniuses. You sisters, you brothers, y'all are inspiring. I watch the lessons. I watch the stuff you come up with. You are deep thinkers. See, you can't run from your hurt. You have to use your hurt as your platform. Those are things. I don't want to think about it. Think about it. There's a message in there. There's a message in that pain that you're running from. Sometimes that pain is a part of you. You got to identify because it's your behavior. You can't be. We were talking to somebody the other day and the person said, I'm hurting. I'm going to change. And the person said, you can't change. He said, why can't I change? Everybody can change. He said, why do you behave the way you behave? I don't know. Then you can't change. You got to go back into that past that you blocked out for so dang long because it hurts. It hurts. The past hurts. But we scared of it. It becomes that abyss. It becomes that darkness. It becomes that flood that we close ourselves in and we walk away from and say, no, Father, we don't want to go back there. But Father says, I'm there. Meet me there. No matter how bad it hurts, no matter how much pain, find out who you are, why you are, where you've been through, and suck it up now because God loves you. And you can't love nobody until you love yourself. You love the person in the past that you hurt about. I went through years of suffering, years of pain because I didn't want to identify with my past. And then I realized that my healing was there. I realized the warmthness was there. I realized that after I got past Leviathan, that demon, I found me. And I know why I am the way I am. All praises, all honor, all glory to the supreme intellect of the universe. Hallelujah.